FS1 College Football is sponsored by Rocket Mortgage. Hawaii won the toss deferred. They'll be kicking off to Wyoming. And the weather, look at the difference here. And they're going to have about 7,000 fans in attendance tonight. They usually can put 29,000 into War Memorial. Back in Honolulu, it's over 80 degrees. There is an altitude difference as well. Greg Bowl got the one-year contract extension this week through 2024. There is Todd Graham, we mentioned moments ago, as Adam Stack ready to kick off for the Rainbow Warriors. Back to receive for Wyoming. Aiden Eberhardt, senior receiver. And instead it's Dante Crow on the return all the way out up across the 40-yard line. Good field position to start for the redshirt freshman. And Levi Williams, who came in third play from scrimmage last week. He was expected to play in the game. Captain Sean Chambers fractured his fibula. And Williams on the spot, slow start, rallied his team from 28-6 to force overtime with the help of some excellent kicking.
He really got more comfortable as the game went along and did force overtime. Really had an exceptional fourth quarter. Got his legs going, and that's what got that throwing motion and accuracy going. It really is all based on the run, Chris.
And Valadez, the carry, knocked down right away. And this offensive line, mostly a four-year group that all came in together.
And good looking. I mean, tall trees there in Wyoming and Laramie, and they want those guys going forward and running the ball. The skill positions are interesting. They do have some guys that can stretch the field. They love Welch, the tight end, but it really starts with Valadez on plays like you just saw on first down.
Valadez, 33% of the team's scrimmage yards. A workhorse, maybe even more so, with Williams set to throw and completes. Nate Wyman, the tight end, with a first down around the 46 of Hawaii.
There you see Chambers, season-ending injury each of the last 3 seasons, 2 broken legs and a knee issue, and just gut-wrenching to see the young man hurt on the first series in Reno last week, but he did make it back out on the field and has been every bit of the emotional support that he can be for Levi Williams. And that was a nice play to get him started. Just a little dump off to the backup tight end, his second reception of the year.
After a pickup of 14, Valadez spinning inside the 30 and down inside the 25 of Hawaii. And looks like we have an injured player from Hawaii. Eugene Ford, who had a couple of interceptions last week, is holding his knee, but first the Valadez run.
Well, it is Ford getting hurt on this run. Look, and he goes to tackle Valadez, and Valadez spins out of it. Ford catches up, and then looks like he catches a leg whip from one of his teammates. But this is going to be very difficult for Todd Graham to stomach. He does not like missed tackles like that from his safety position, and that just shows some of the power that Valadez, an under 200-pound guy, can generate once he gets past the line of scrimmage. And they are working on that lower leg for Ford.
Already a little bit thin at the safety position. Kai Kaneshiro called for targeting last week, so out for the first half. We expect, obviously, that he will go in the second half. You have Donovan Dalton and Tiger Peterson at the safety spot as they check on Eugene Ford.
And you see the leg come around, and looks like it just gets the outside of the right knee of Ford. And unfortunate there. When you're chasing a play, that can happen. Hope the young man can get up under his own power here.
He'll be assisted. And these fans supportive of Ford up on his feet heading to the sideline. Looks like Donovan Dalton will be his replacement, the junior from Apple Valley, Minnesota.
And they're still trying to find their defensive personnel on this Hawaii team. Todd Graham likes the group. He likes the buy-in. He loved how hard they played at Fresno. Hawaii had not won there in many years, but they're still figuring out how this defense fits in this conference with what Todd Graham likes to do and what he's had a lot of success doing at places like Rice and Tulsa and Arizona State. You can still see he has the Arizona State wristbands on the right arm. That has not changed.
The chain look very hip. I think making a statement as you look at the resume. We mentioned Arizona State, the last head coaching stop at the 3-win seasons at Tulsa. After the first down run by Valladay, that was a 21-yard run. Set to throw is Williams, dumps it to Valladay, slips a tackle, gets inside the 20 before going out of bounds.
Well, right now the first guy's not getting Valladay, and I like the play call here, just a very slow developing play action. And nothing there, and Levi dumps it off and lets Valladay make something happen. Another spin move and another broken tackle from him.
It was Jeremiah Pritchard who had the first shot at him and missed.
He ducked his head.
4 for a first down. Valladay through. Valladay, touchdown Cowboys! Xavier Valladay on the drive, dominating the Hawaii defense.
Welcome to Cowboy Country, Rainbow Warriors. That's tough. They've been sitting all week in Denver waiting for this game, and Wyoming takes the football and rams it right into Hawaii. A great kick-out block, and Valladay gets up underneath and makes it look easy. That's not easy.
18-yard touchdown run. John Hoyland, the Mountain West Conference Special Teams Player of the Week with the extra point, but Valladay on the 18-yard score.
Yeah, we okay?
Yeah, that's good.
Chris is easy to work with.
Yeah, a little just sluggish on that return. I had the wrong return guy out there, and I couldn't find
him either.
Yeah. Well, Levi Williams, the redshirt freshman, got all the help he needed from Xavier Valladay, the junior from Illinois, covering this drive, 60-plus yards over 2 minutes and the touchdown.
We talked about it at the top of the show, Chris. Valladay is the guy that they trust the most with the ball right now, especially with their captain Chambers out. They like Levi Williams as their starter, but to have Valladay carry the load on the first drive and give this team some momentum is a big deal. Now we'll see if the Rainbow Warriors can respond.
Malquise Stovall back to return. Also, Day Hunter is there, and it's going to be Stovall. Chevin Cordero scored twice in the opener, was the leading rusher. 5 starts in his career, 5 wins. The sophomore from Honolulu.
He is a guy that a lot of people in Honolulu have been waiting to see play. He was the backup at the very famous St. Louis High School in Honolulu to Tua Tagovailoa. That's also where Marcus Mariota played his football, and they've been waiting to watch this guy do his thing in Hawaii for a long time. It took all the way till his senior year to get the reps in St. Louis.
Inside handoff. And going nowhere is Miles Reed. Reed, who is the workhorse back, the junior just under 190 pounds, only 5'8", from Corona, California.
Yeah, he's a good player at a Corona Centennial High School where they make great players. And Todd Graham's had a long-time relationship with that high school. Vontez Burfict at Arizona State.
Deflected and incomplete at the line of scrimmage. Let's see if that is ruled incomplete. They're pointing as if that is a... Well, let's check. Turnover? And they're saying fumble.
The rolling on the field is a fumble. Recovered by the defense. First down. Wyoming.
The recovery was Chad Muma, who is really the straw that stirs the drink, but it looks like this ball just came out of his arm long before he was able to start that motion. It's on the back.
Yep, the open palm rule would apply here, and it was ruled, they did not rule it incomplete right away, even though it looked like it was a forward pass, but it slipped out of his hand.
Well, this is adversity for Hawaii to overcome right off the bat here. And we talked about the altitude and the weather affecting the Warriors early in this game. And it's hard to say that that has not happened with the turnover, very uncharacteristic for Cordero, and getting pushed way back into the end zone on Wyoming's first possession.
Hawaii, and you see this, they only had one turnover last week. It was an area they wanted to improve upon. And Levi Williams keeps on the fake. It'll be second down.
Todd Graham's team sees a lot of that play in practice. Just the old zone read. They're trying to get Levi Williams going a little bit, leaning forward and running the ball. It kind of seems to me he's the sort of player that needs to get tackled a couple times before he really trusts himself throwing the ball down the field. And we have another Hawaii injury.
We will check on the injured player already. Eugene Ford left moments ago, starting safety. We'll try and get a number here. Looks like Jeremy Pritchard, and going to the ground there, senior from Silverado High School, had an interception last week. He heads to the sideline.
Right now Cordero's trying to figure out what happened with that ball, talking to the other quarterbacks, looking at his grip. Hey, it's cold.
It's cold, but it's not. It didn't appear to be all that windy and no precipitation. You are at a higher altitude, over 7,200 feet. But again, as you mentioned, they stayed in a bubble in Colorado. Didn't get a lot of practice time because of the weather in Colorado, at least outdoor practice.
It's pretty high, I think.
There are the numbers. Trey Smith spelled it out for us. Trey Smith is in at running back. Williams to throw and completes. That's Parker Christensen, the tight end, H-back, halfback. We hardly had a chance, Petros, to get to the Hawaii defense. Darius Muasau coming off an 11-tackle game and leading the guys up front.
Todd Graham's starting to find out who he's got on the team, who will run to the football and make tackles, guys that don't get pushed back. This is a much bigger Wyoming offensive line, and that's what they're going to try to do, lean on this Hawaii defense.
From the 15-yard line of Hawaii, Valadez is back in, and trouble on the pitch, and that ball rolls out of bounds inside the 15. It's an awkward-looking play by the Cowboys.
This was a mess from the start. Levi Williams had to corral this snap and does a great job at 6'5", getting up and getting it right there. He needs to eat that and not put it in play. He tries to forward pass in like a pitching motion to Xavier Valadez, and that just wasn't going to happen. He needed to eat that ball, and they're lucky that just rolled out of bounds.
A fumble is under further review.
On FS1, tuning in, Petros Papadakis, Chris Myers, bringing you Mountain West Conference football. Wyoming at home took the opening kickoff in
Please
for a
set
touchdown.
the game clock to 10:58. 10:58.
And after a takeaway, there's Craig Bohl, the head coach of the Wyoming Cowboys.
They're looking to see the previous play, which was, I think, a forward pass. It was a pitching motion, but it looked like a forward pass. So Wyoming wants him to take a look at it because of the loss of yardage here.
It would be a 3-yard loss if it stands. Our rules analyst, Dean Blandino, watching with us. Dean, how did you see this?
Yeah, that's a forward pass. Whether it's a push pass, an overhand pass, underhand, as long as the hand goes forward with control, and you watch this here, he's just going to push it forward. That is an incomplete pass once it hits the ground. They should reverse this, put some time back on the clock, and go back to the previous spot.
But ill-advised, Dean. I mean, at least...
Very ill-advised. As you said, I mean, ill-advised one thing, he got very lucky there.
So it should be 2nd and 10 instead of 2nd and 13. They had a first down from the 15. Referee is Christian Watson. And ruled on the field a fumble and 3-yard loss for Wyoming. And it was Xavier Valladay who, on that opening drive for Wyoming, he scored on an 18-yard touchdown run and gave the Cowboys the 7-0 advantage. And then a takeaway for Wyoming has them in striking distance again. But a moment ago, the loose football, the redshirt freshman Levi Williams quarterbacking for Sean Chambers. If you missed the open where the captain was hurt last week. Let's wait for the referee to make the call on this. Hawaii opened their season with a win over Fresno State. Wyoming lost in overtime to Nevada. It's the second game for each in the Mountain West. 8-game all-conference schedule.
After further review, replay determines a forward pass. Incomplete. The ball be placed at the 15-yard line. 2nd down. Please reset the game clock to 11:19. 1-1, 1-9. Thank you.
Those who watched the truck race on FS1, this was the opening drive and the opening touchdown. Xavier Valladay. And moments ago, 7-0, the mistake out of the hands of Chevin Cordero, Hawaii's quarterback, recovered by Chad Muma, and an opportunity now for Wyoming to add to their lead. Trey Smith is in it running back for Valladay. He has it. He's nailed right away. Stop back around the 18 and will bring up 3rd and long. And Pritchard, who went out a moment ago as the injured player for Hawaii, made the stop.
Yeah, he made a great move right at the line of scrimmage and got by a Bojay and made a tackle in the backfield. That's the kind of positive plays Todd Graham's defense needs to get their mojo working. They feel like they're in a foreign land right now. That's exactly what Wyoming wants them to feel, very uncomfortable. That's the first really positive play the Warriors have put together in this game.
On a 3rd down and 12, spotted at the 17. Williams on the run, pressure coming, and he has to unload. The catch is made inside the 15. It's going to be short of the first down, and it'll no doubt bring out the kicking unit.
He found Aiden Eberhardt there. It looked like a lot of short passes, a lot of stop routes early in this game, and this is a broken play. They flushed Levi Williams out of the pocket. Very good recovery by the Rainbow Warriors on 2nd and 3rd down and 1st down to force this for Wyoming.
Field goal try will be about 30 yards. The freshman John Hoyland, and what a story, as I mentioned, as this kick goes through.
Never misses.
He was the Mountain West Conference Special Teams Player of the Week, was clutch last week in defeat, and adds here. FS1 College Football is sponsored by Rocket Mortgage. John Hoyland, the freshman from Broomfield, Colorado. Last week, pressed into action. Luke Glassick suffered a groin pull, and he was perfect, 4 for 4.
He was unbelievable, and he had barely been on the team, Coach Bull told us, because of a COVID concern, and he got with the team, and when the groin went, he came in and kicked, and they just thought maybe if he makes a couple extra points, it's a big win. This guy ends up having one of the greatest Wyoming kicker games of all time.
Added a field goal in overtime, had one with 23 seconds left as they down. And the story was that they didn't have the right shoes. He had to grab some cleats over on the sideline. They gave him a red shoe. I was thinking of Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, but you only get halfway there if you click those together, because one of them's white.
How about a little Greek philosophy? You were an English major back at USC.
I was, but my dad was a philosophy major, so I'm good with this. Hawaii, for a Halloween theme, they have that 3-headed rushing monster between Reed, Turner, and Cordero. They have to get going. And if you're Wyoming defensively, keep the candy inside. Don't let them take all your good big-ticket items candy. Basically, don't let Cordero get on the outside and exploit you with vertical run lanes, because he can. He's very fast.
With the Halloween theme, Day Hunter, the running back, the freshman who can fly. And Chevin Cordero.
Delayed game. Offense, number 12. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Looked like he won. They were going to call timeout. The hesitation. Just a rough start for this offense.
The environment. I mean, it's a college football team, and you just it being comfortable and being together. Sometimes you feel great coming out, and the game starts, and you just don't know what happened. But that's what overcoming. Coach Graham knows that's what overcoming adversity is all about, and they just set themselves up
On a 1st and 15. That was Calvin Turner, who last week had a couple of touchdowns, took some direct snaps of the opener.
Yeah, transfer from Jacksonville State, which is not in Florida, by the way. He's from Georgia, and that's really the second back they like to get the ball to. Nice slicing run.
Cordero throws incomplete. Trying to get to Rico Bussey, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 8. Cowboys have won 8 straight home games, leading 10-0. They lost on the road to open the season. Defense has already forced 1 turnover tonight. Day Hunter, the back, for Chevin Cordero. Looks like a flag.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
The call is on Gene Pryor, the right tackle.
He's a good player. All Mountain West honorable mention last year. What happened here is Wyoming got in a set where it looked like they were coming right over the center with 2 or 3 linebackers, and Cordero didn't know what to do. He kind of checked the sideline, and that offensive line was in their stance for too long. Couldn't hold their water.
They had a problem last week with procedure penalties. Cordero is going to keep, and he hesitated instead of going for the first down, and he didn't get it.
You said it yourself right there, Chris. He needed to accelerate like he was and get to the line, but instead he thought about making a move on Chad Muma just a little late. Chad Muma, probably the best defender that Wyoming has, and watch him close down and make this play right at the sticks. The second he gets his arms on Cordero, Cordero does not go 1 inch further. Great tackle by the leader and Mike linebacker of the Cowboys.
Yeah, Muma was the one who had the fumble recovery. Pressure on the punt. Ball bounces, and from inside the 20, Rico Bussey brings it out up across the 30. It's already 10-0. Valladay with a touchdown run. We'll see more of the exciting running back of the Cowboys in a moment. In the opening quarter, Wyoming with a 10-0 advantage.
You know, we talked to Craig Bowl, and he said this offensive line is probably the best in my era since I've been here at Wyoming. And you see the size. They're not just good, they're big, and the disparity between them and the Warriors is big.
Here comes a flag. Center Keegan Kreider is the captain and the leader of that line up front for Wyoming.
And looks like the procedure penalties are starting to get contagious on both sides of the ball here. Wyoming, their first mistake.
Offense, number 69. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Aboje there, who missed a block a little bit earlier to set up a TFL for Pritchard, a tackle for loss.
Well, last week it took a while, but the Wyoming offense, 22 points in the final 15 minutes getting into overtime. They have started fast here at home with Xavier Valladay in the backfield. He already has 40 yards plus rushing. He's bounced around a little bit, but you talked about his skill set. First team All Mountain West last year, led the conference, over 1,200 rush yards. Has a couple of 200-yard rushing games in his career.
Yeah, he's a tough guy, and he wants the ball a lot. He's their leading rusher. He's their leading receiver. He's the guy that they want to get going so the rest of the offense can find their groove. But that time, a nice tackle by John Tui Tutopo.
12 career touchdowns for Valladay, including one tonight. after no gain. Levi Williams with a low pass, but a nice catch. Getting across the 20 is Gunnar Gentry. And a touchdown grab last week from Aurora, Colorado, the junior.
He really had to go down and get this one. This is a hard catch to make, to go down and make that play and not cringe when you're about to get hit. He didn't end up getting hit, but that makes it a little bit more of a manageable third down. But Hawaii's done a very good job on this possession so far.
It could be an early tipping point for Hawaii, the defense needing to make a play against Levi Williams. Valladay in the backfield. Williams to throw. Floats one down the sideline. Incomplete.
Cortez. Yeah, Cortez Davis was on the coverage, and the one thing he didn't do is look back. When you don't turn your head, you're almost baiting the official to throw that. Now, was he really all over him? I'm not sure, but the optics of the head never turning while the ball was in the air.
Pass interference. Defense, number 18, 15-yard penalty, an automatic first down.
And it was Isaiah Nair that was the target.
Oh, he's got his arm all over the right arm.
The official's right there.
Yeah, that Nair could not get that right arm at all anywhere near the ball because it was being held down, and Levi knows that that's a successful play for him.
Fresh set of downs. Valladay nailed right away as soon as he got the football. Muasau making the play.
And watch Muasau just come flying in here. This is what Todd Graham's defense does. They make different kind of plays and take risks in the run game. Muasau was lined up almost as a Mike linebacker position. He's really got kind of an amoeba defense going, and he did not hesitate. He saw it and drove on the football and causes another behind-the-stick situation for the Cowboys.
Amoeba defense. I like that.
Look at these guys are everywhere, Chris.
Williams well protected in the pocket, but takes off running. And inside, across the 40, inside the 45-yard line. Short of the first down, but we'll check. It's an impressive run from Levi Williams.
Well, they like their quarterbacks big in Wyoming, and Levi is 6'5", 240. But check out this acceleration when he really decides to tuck the ball. He can get around that edge, takes a pretty big hit. But I think he surprised the Warriors there with how quickly he can get upfield with a little bit of momentum. That's the best part of his game that gets his throwing game going.
He picked up 10, 3rd and 3 from the 43 of Wyoming. He keeps this time and gets the first down.
That was a really nice read that time by Levi Williams because they ran a cross block. You see that? And everybody thought that Valladay was going to get the ball. Levi knew that he needed to pull it and make the play himself by getting out to the perimeter, and he does exactly that. Pulls off the first down in an adverse change situation with his legs.
Turning into a 1-2 punch with Williams running the ball and Valladay running the ball. Looks like we're going to have a timeout here. Last week, Williams ran 10 times for 40 yards.
Wyoming
Had a couple of
First
touchdowns.
charge of the half.
That was a Wyoming timeout. Wyoming's redshirt freshman Levi Williams took over for the starter last week, hurt, and rallied his team late.
And they started calling some quarterback runs. The 40 yards and 2 touchdowns running the ball is really what got those throws. That one to Gentry going. There you see him pushing the line of scrimmage again. The old Tebow pop pass, and why not? He wears the number 15, and he almost took the Cowboys all the way back in Reno.
And he's got his team out in front tonight after a couple of running plays. Set to throw is Williams, and a flip with nobody there. He is from Canyon Lake, Smithson High School in Canyon Lake, Texas. Which
There is no foul for intentional grounding. Quarterback is outside the pocket. Incomplete. 3rd down.
So that's north of San Antonio in the Texas Hill Country. And put on some 30 pounds through hard work since the end of last season, because Sean Chambers, who won that tight preseason competition for the starting job, had a history of injuries, and there he is looking on. And when he was injured on that 3rd play from scrimmage, Williams stepped in.
Both guys incredibly strong guys, and that's the prototype Cowboy quarterback.
Williams from the pocket completes to the 40. Nate Weinman, the tight end.
It's his second catch so far, somebody that they've wanted to get involved in the game plan. And with Chambers out, Chris, it really is an interesting backup quarterback situation. They really didn't have one. It was a receiver who used to play quarterback in Reno, and now it looks like they have one of their freshmen back, Gavin Bierup, who will come in if Levi Williams wasn't able to go. But a lot of dicey situations for Coach Bull with the quarterback situation once Sean Chambers went down last week.
Yeah, you thought he might not run as much today because of that lack of depth at that position. Valladay carries again. Excellent defense there. And it looks like Darius Muasau again, who again led the team in tackles last week. Another big play.
They are selling out into the gaps. You saw Muasau do the same thing he did earlier on this drive. The second they think that Valladay is going to get the carry, they just come straight downhill and try to get after him. We'll see how Wyoming counters that.
So on 4th and 2, passing up, obviously Hoyland is not that good from 57 yards away.
These are conservative teams, Chris.
So they're going to punt. Nick Null with Stovall back to receive if he has the chance. Let's see how well he hits. Oh, almost a great special teams play. And it's going to be a touchback. Tried to toss that ball back in. Titus Swen, almost. Outstanding. We'll see how Hawaii responds on offense in a moment. FoxBet Super 6 giving you another chance at winning $1 million of Terry's money. Last Sunday, 3 players came really close to the $1 million prize, still up for grabs this Sunday. Download the app, play for free, make your picks for Sunday's games, and good luck. Just over 4 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. Petros Papadakis, Chris Myers, and fans, and the band in Wyoming, in Laramie, Wyoming, where it's down in the 30s. Enjoying a little football here as Miles Reed gets the carry and dances around up across the 26-yard line.
Let's see what they do with that positive play. I know it doesn't seem like a huge gain, but 6 yards on first down for Miles Reed, getting a little bit of space. We'll see how they can capitalize on that with the shorter, more manageable second down.
They pick up the pace a little. Reed gets a first down. Now, Petros, you know, last week Hawaii ran for 323 yards against Fresno State. That was the most since Nevada, against Nevada in 2016. They had 2 100-yard rushers in that game.
It's a new look for this football team, and now they're playing fast with tempo once they get that run game going. Look for something to pop down the field.
It was Cordero and Reed last week over 100. Cordero to throw. Sideline and incomplete. Not sure who the target was. Looks like he had his hands on it, had a chance.
That's Nick Martiner out of Ontario, just like Chuba Hubbard, a great Canadian football player. And here's the end of the play. I told you, once they get some positive plays going in the run game, they do try to pop it down the field, and that's a pretty accurate throw from Cordero that Martiner just couldn't come up with.
From the Hawaii 31-yard line, Calvin Turner is in. Fake to him. Cordero airs it out and overthrows his intended receiver.
And look to see if Hawaii gets back to that as the game continues. It's starting to look like they like some of the matchups that they see on the perimeter, especially kind of lulling the Cowboys to sleep with the quarterback run and the tailbacks that they expect to stop. Long third down here, though.
Cordero has yet to complete a pass. He had that fumble off his hand when he was attempting to throw on a 3rd down and 10. Check the flag. Just another.
Ball start. Offense, number 63. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Yeah, I think Todd Graham is going to lose his mind with these procedure penalties, because even in their victory last week, he was really upset about it and addressed it with his team. They've had a few tonight.
Yeah, that's the center, Tuulima, and you can see he kind of lifted his heels up. A very subtle movement, but everybody's watching for that.
Bigger hole now on 3rd and 15 for Cordero. And dumps Dumps it off to Miles Reed, who is swarmed by the Cowboy defense and will lose yardage. And it's 4th down.
It's a great job by the defensive end, very active player, Victor Jones, who just recognized that right away and got his arms all over Reed. Doesn't end up making the play, but at that point, everybody rallies to the football, and a very nice stop for the Cowboys getting off the field, and some self-inflicted pain from Hawaii. A couple of errant throws and the procedure penalty.
And Stack from inside his own 10 with the boot. Fair catch called for inside the 40 of Wyoming. A Mountain West Conference with 6 new head coaches to the conference. Todd Graham part of that.
Yeah, Todd Graham waiting for a good fit, you know, a real disciplinarian, and he found it in Hawaii. Brady Hoke, obviously, back at San Diego State. Marcus Arroyo will be on this air tomorrow with his UNLV team against Nevada. DeBoer taking over for Tedford and Fresno. Dazio coming in from Boston College.
You mentioned a good fit. You know, Graham said, I didn't want to go to one of those 1-win, 2-win rebuilding things. I wanted a team that I thought was championship material. And they got off to a flying start week 1, but struggling tonight and a long way to go.
And when you hire Todd Graham, you hire the whole staff, a whole personality. He's going to bring in a defensive mentality. He's going to bring in an offensive mentality that wants to run the football first, that's going to be playing to help that defense in their endeavors. Special teams is a very, very big point of emphasis. He really has a disciplined culture that he puts in, and he loves the buy-in so far on a very unique season for the Warriors.
After a 46-yard punt, spotted at the 41 of Wyoming. Their opening drive, without any resistance, they marched all the way in. Since they've had some problems as Valladay shakes loose. A ankle tackle gets a first down.
You know, it's really hard to be a violent runner and a patient runner together at the same time. But you kind of see that with Valladay. He sets up a beautiful move there on the edge and then takes it right into the teeth of the defense. And he really knows how to finish runs.
Picked up 11 yards. He's nearing the 50-yard mark tonight. Gets a breather as Trey Smith comes in.
Hurt Corey Bethley bad there on the move.
Smith with nowhere to go.
And I don't think Valladay's tired. I think they're trying to get Trey Smith out of Madison, Mississippi, a little bit more of a stake in this offense. He's a graduate, only had 2 carries last week. They need him to get a little bit more involved in the offense. You can't depend everything on one guy, and that's what they've done a lot with Williams and Valladay.
Smith's second season at Wyoming after he had a couple of seasons at Louisville. And Williams keeps just short of the first down.
Williams brings that one a little fat. You know, he tries to take that one outside and realizes that the lane is inside and makes that cut right away and gets up the field. And another third down, very manageable third down for this big Wyoming offensive line. I love the push they're getting right now.
Williams, he started at 1 game last year, the Arizona Bowl, the end of the redshirt year, led Wyoming to the victory over Georgia State at 4 total touchdowns in that game. He's running, and now he's throwing here, and gets rid of it on a 3rd and 2, and that'll bring up a 4th, and they need to. Quentin Frazier is applying the pressure.
Quarterback is outside the pocket. 4th down.
Great job by Todd Graham's defense there. When they bring a fullback in and they're in that I formation with Parker Christensen, Hawaii is selling out to the line of scrimmage. And Wyoming saw that, and they called a play action, but still that rush was so heavy that it forced an errant throw by Levi Williams and a punt.
From the 40 of Hawaii, they only need 2, not going to gamble. And there's a flag down as Nick Null punts the ball, and they did not rule it down, so it'll be marked around the 12-yard line, checking that penalty.
Illegal formation. Offense. 5-yard penalty from previous spot. 4th down.
They're going to make him kick it again because Wyoming did such a great job of downing that inside the 20. Almost pulled off that on the first punt.
Just about, well, it is 32 seconds remaining, so they'll re-kick. Stovall will be back to receive. Graduate student Nick Null from Bradenton, Florida. He punted 6 times last week, averaged almost 41 yards a boot. Here he's just going to try to pin Hawaii deep in their own territory. Stovall, who's from Lancaster, California, will let that slip through his fingers. He's got to get out of the end zone and stop short of the 5-yard line.
Well, Stovall was able to make up for his own mistake in one regard, which is he recovered his own muffed punt, but never should have gotten after this one in the first place.
Maybe let that go.
Yes, well inside the 10. You have to let that go and roll into the end zone. That's why you're making them kick it again. You're hoping for a touchdown so you can get it on the 20. Ill-advised by Stovall, and another mistake that really seems like an environmental or road mistake for Todd Graham's team, as they're still kind of trying to get their bearings here in the altitude and the cold of Laramie, Wyoming.
Cordero is just 1 for 4, -8. Haven't been able to get the ground game going. Calvin Turner carries. And the first down play. Turner, an interesting talent, because you mentioned from Jacksonville, he was a quarterback, played the option quarterback, counted for over 2,800 yards in his career and 32 touchdowns. They're a great addition, a great fit for what Hawaii likes to do. We've completed 1 quarter at War Memorial Stadium in Laramie, Wyoming. You're watching Mountain West Conference football on FS1, and the Cowboys have a 10-0 lead at home over Hawaii. FS1 College Football is sponsored by Rocket Mortgage. We begin the second quarter with Petros Papadakis, Chris Myers, and these numbers. Boy, Hawaii's offense, they had many plays.
No, they haven't been out there very long, and that doesn't bode well for their defense in this altitude and cold, getting leaned on by the Wyoming offensive line. And right now, Wyoming in all 3 phases really kind of dominating the game. The score looks like it's in favor of Hawaii because it could be worse.
Short of the 10-yard line, D.J. Hunter. Wyoming's defense outstanding. You saw Craig Bull at age 62 in his 7th season at Wyoming. Kind of a cheerleader, too, for the Mountain West Conference.
Yeah, loves it in the Mountain West. He says he's challenged by the league, and that's why he's decided to stay. Really a joy just to talk to Bull and kind of get into the teeth of the program and what it means to the state. And they're not just Laramie's team, they're the state's team. And I love the culture.
Cordero, enough for the first down. One of the more successful plays we've seen him run tonight.
And, you know, we saw them get a little momentum with the running back, Reed, and they threw it deep a couple times, and Cordero just tried to finesse that ball a little too much. Getting him running in the run game and getting that clock moving with first downs is a huge deal for them, as we have an injured Cowboy in the backfield there.
And a timeout called. Try and check Ravante Holt. Looks like he is the injured player for Wyoming.
And, you know, we talked about that great offensive line for Wyoming. Their defensive line has been very active as well, and that's where Coach Bull starts with the building of a football team. We were talking about his philosophy with him. This defensive line accounted for 19 tackles, 7 TFLs, 3 sacks, a forced fumble last week, and they were the most active group out there, and it looks like they're looking at the left leg of Holt.
Had a couple of players in that opening quarter head to the sideline. Pritchard returned for Hawaii after his injury. See if we can figure out what happened.
He's in the end zone there, all the way back there, as a block is getting finished, and it looks like he just had his leg buckle under him. got up but couldn't make it all the way back to the line of scrimmage.
One of the starters up front with Cole Goodbow, Jalen Pate, Goodbow, excuse me, and Victor Jones. And nice to see him up. And headed to the sideline. Well, you asked Coach, too, about Victor Jones specifically on that Wyoming defense, who was originally defensive tackle, and he said he's a good barometer for what our defense is doing.
Yeah, they like him to get a rush on the outside, and they like guys with a good motor, you know, running sideline to sideline, hitting, being accountable to each other. These are very similar programs in what they're actually trying to accomplish on the field, but just from such dramatically different places. But these coaches actually very similar and have a lot of respect for each other, Graham and Bull.
Cordero on the move, throws and completes up across the 25-yard line. Jared Smart, who since 2019 leading the conference in receiving yards, had 7 catches last week.
And he did a good job of coming clear out of the middle and showing Cordero his numbers, and that was a nice accurate throw by Cordero while he was moving. We'll see if it gets his rhythm going.
Kevin Cordero settling in after a rough opening quarter. On the ground and now through the air. Facing a 2nd and 4. From the pocket. Fire is incomplete. Sideline throw for Rico Bussey. And C.J. Colden on the coverage. And the corners for Wyoming, I think they feel comfortable there. They're a little concerned about some of their safety play, but the coverage good.
They're big, Chris. I mean, C.J. Colden is 6'1". Hey, long arms, limited experience last year, but that ball hung a little too long, and he was able to close.
Need 4 on 3rd down, trailing 10-0. They're going to run it with Miles Reed, who gets the first down. Wyoming's defense, 11th best in Division I last year in the entire country. And trying to play off that, they were coming into this game saying they had to be better in the secondary.
And I'm not sure how tested that secondary is going to be, at least until Hawaii can get more of those first downs. But this is the best momentum that they've been able to create so far in the game with 2 first downs.
Haven't been close to scoring. What a hit on Miles Reed. Goodbow. Hard to read that number scrunched up. Not sure who exactly delivered that hit.
Yeah, I got the number taped to the jersey there.
Is it Jordan Bertagnol?
There he is. Yeah, Casper, Wyoming. Good job, Jordan, coming off the edge. All right.
Just can't call the name if we don't see the jersey clearly, but it was a big defensive play.
2nd TFL of the year for him.
Tackled for a loss. After a loss of 4, a throw that goes incomplete. Let's go back to that play.
Well, here comes Bertagnol. Looks like he's wearing a 00 there, but he's just able to flow with the play, and no one ever shut the door on him. They thought that the misdirection with the quarterback, that he just maybe stopped for Cordero, never did. A lot of selling out from the defensive lines and the linebackers on both sides of the ball against the running backs. I think neither of these teams are going to allow the running back to beat him, or at least try.
That's 96 is his number, but is he already in his Halloween costume? Is he in disguise trying to fool the offense? Cordero on the move. Throws sideline, and looks like the catch. Are they ruling it a catch or incomplete? They're saying incomplete.
I don't think he had. He only need the 1 foot in college, but I don't think he was even able to get that.
It's Bussey. Rico Bussey was the target.
Good job by Cordero, able to escape and then move up in the pocket and make that throw, and you see that.
Wow.
He is unable to get that foot down. That would have been a very difficult play unless his legs automatically grew 6 inches in like 2 seconds.
Which I don't think would happen even on the eve of Halloween. But he gave it a good try. And failing to put pressure on. Dante Crow on the return for the Cowboys. Gets out of bounds up around the 36-yard line. Terrific defense by the Cowboys, protecting a 10-0 lead.
Coming up on the State Farm halftime, we're going to look ahead to 6th-ranked Oklahoma State trying to remain undefeated on the season. And is Spencer Rattler starting to hit his stride after back-to-back wins for the now-ranked Sooners? Chris, Petros, we'll see you guys at the break.
Thank you, Rob. We had a little bit of a penalty there on the punt return for Wyoming. We're going to have to clean that up. Right here is Miles Williams. Now, they're going to call this a blindside block, but it doesn't look like a blindside block to me. He turned his back and blocked him with the back, which is always a little bit of a nicer, more kind way to block a guy. You don't usually get a penalty there. And to me, the block on Pritchard was blindside because Pritchard wasn't looking for him. It was not that egregious of a penalty, but the flag comes out, and Wyoming has to start a little bit more backed up than before, Chris.
After a 45-yard punt, 6-yard return, but then the penalties. So at the 21-yard line, here come the Cowboys. Try to add to that lead. Levi Williams, 6 out of 9 through the air. He's also run for 30 yards. He's going to throw here, and almost intercepted, but then caught on the deflection. And they're ruling it incomplete. I thought that Isaiah Nair came up with it.
Very close to being picked off there by Nair. And then Donovan Dalton.
Right there off his hands. So he had it but couldn't hold it.
Yeah, that's Donovan Dalton who almost made that play there.
And Dalton is playing because Eugene Ford, the starting safety, was injured in the opening quarter.
Yeah, first play of the game.
It's Halliday shaking loose for a first down up across the 32-yard line. And 87 yards on 23 carries last week. His long run there was 14 yards. He's had a 21-yard run tonight. And the 18-yarder for the touchdown, the only touchdown of this game so far.
Yeah, and Sterling Ortiz was the guy that got his hands on Valladay, and that was 9 yards down the field. So if they're not going to get a touch on Valladay until he's that far down the field, it's going to be a long night for the Warriors.
That's why he's averaging over 7.5 yards a carry tonight. First down. Darius Lewisau once again on the stop, leading tackler so far in this game.
Todd Graham, Chris, was talking to us a lot about cleaning up the penalties, making sure his team was a little bit more cognizant after beating Fresno very soundly. He didn't like some of the mistakes they made coming in to see Craig Bohl's team in Laramie, and Hawaii never went back to Honolulu. They've been on the mainland ever since, hunkered down in Denver, waiting to get to Wyoming, arrived in Wyoming yesterday, and still having trouble getting their bearings here in the first half.
Pass is incomplete. Well, the defense of the Rainbow Warriors / Road Warriors, at least to start the season, will have an opportunity here, and as Todd Graham called him, he labeled this defense the War Dog defense. Kind of a new slogan that playing off of, I guess, the Warriors. And a chance for them to make a big play because their offense has not threatened the Wyoming defense.
Well, we've seen Hawaii have trouble in this first half, but we've seen Wyoming unable to capitalize on many of these mistakes.
1 for 4 on third down. From their own 35-yard line. We have a timeout now. And a Wyoming timeout. Craig Bohl is
Prior to the clock, play clock expire. Wyoming either take a charge or something like that.
He is fired up about something. It's a nice look at Laramie, Wyoming. And inside low 30s. War Memorial Stadium here in the second quarter as the Cowboys with a 10-0 lead over Hawaii. Just over 10 minutes to go before the half, facing a 3rd down and 8.
Hawaii's defense has really kept them in the game thus far, forcing these 3rd and longs.
Showing blitz. Levi Williams, they back off and completes. It's Valladay with the catch and tremendous balance inside the 40 of Hawaii.
Where did he come up with that ball? Hawaii decides not to blitz, only a three-man rush, and then you see the balance at the end of the play. What a beautiful move.
A throw between a couple of Hawaii defenders.
Well, Hawaii dropped off just for that throw not to be made. And somehow Williams was able to thread the needle and get that ball through. And we talked about Valladay, their leading rusher and receiver.
Pick up a 26 yards. Trey Smith gets the carry here and carries a couple of defenders with it inside the 35-yard line of the Rainbow Warriors. Valladay and Williams are carrying this offense. Trey Smith getting some action here. They're now on 2nd and 2.
And poor Sterling Ortiz, you see him there. He was victimized by Valladay on the spin move, and there Trey Smith just dragged him about 3 yards.
Smith stays in the game. He gets the carry, but does not get the first down. Stopped at the 31-yard line of Hawaii. By the way, Hawaii has no plays on offense in Wyoming territory. The furthest they've gone in this game is to their own 34-yard line.
And right now, Todd Graham is just trying to keep his defense awake and aware of what's going to happen. He's looking for a really heavy Wyoming set, and we'll see if Hawaii sells out for another run blitz. And now they're in a shotgun.
On a 3rd and 2. The first down. You know, Valladay, you know, his percentage too of scrimmage yards, 4th best in the country coming in. He proved himself last year. Coaching staff telling us, Petros, you know, they had a 3-back system, but there were injuries, and when it fell on him, he took over the job and has continued to show he belongs.
This O-line loves blocking for him. You see how physical he is. He gets behind him. That was led by the team captain, Keegan Kreider, the center, getting a good forward push right now are the Cowboys.
And Valladay straight ahead. That hole, that offensive line you're talking about, down to the 22-yard line. Showing what the coaching staff said, he has good feet and has developed into more of a power, toughness kind of a runner as well.
You see the hole. You see a hole like that, you just make a decision and go. And you see his go is a two-way go there. And he takes it right where he is supposed to. I would have liked to see him accelerate a little bit more in the contact zone, but he's a patient runner, and he likes to pull that spin move on guys.
Over 70 yards rushing for Valladay, who gets it again, waits for a block, but stops short of the first down. It'll bring a 3rd and a couple. But in scoring range are the Cowboys, already leading 10-0.
And they like that 3rd and a couple because it's demoralizing to a defense. You make a tackle, you finally get to 3rd down, and then this offensive line, even if they're in a shotgun, they've proven they will lean on you and get a forward push. And right now, Hawaii's guys are tired. That altitude, hands on the hips, their offense has not helped them out that much with a bunch of first downs. Wyoming really in forward territory.
Time of possession, almost 16 minutes. Wyoming under 7 minutes for Hawaii. On 3rd and 2. First down. Valladay.
Todd Graham tried to dial up a run blitz on the edge, but the play was called inside. And Valladay knows exactly what to do where he sees the hole. Ball security, covers it up with both hands. Runs a lot bigger than 196 that he's listed at.
Trey Smith checks in at running back. Fresh set of downs from the 15-yard line of Hawaii. It's Smith who picks up 7.
And now you're starting to see this big offensive line work. Aboje, Kreider, Harris helping up the running back after the play is over. Everybody falling forward. Hawaii's defense is really on their heels.
Smith helping out. Son of former Jags wide receiver Jimmy Smith. Under 6 minutes before halftime. field. You're watching Mountain West football on FS1. Built for Success is presented by Rocket Mortgage. For the personalized playbook on home loans, Rocket can. And validate the story here. He's got 15 touches for over 100 scrimmage yards.
The man out of Brother Rice High School in Illinois loves to hit that B button. That's what the kids say, Chris, when you have a spin move.
Here's Valaday fighting to get inside the 5. Want to hear that again? The what?
The B button.
Okay. I'll check out my...
I don't know either.
My IG. See if I can get some help there.
Well, that time he wanted to spin, but just too much traffic in there. But I really love his ability to be patient, but also fly into the hole. And he goes into the hole pretty high a lot, just kind of standing straight up like Eric Dickerson, but he gets down in a hurry. He's really aware of his surroundings in that.
This drive over 6 minutes by Wyoming. And, oh, what a hit. Valaday, as soon as he got the football, he went down in a huff. Pene Pavihi,
yeah,
from American Samoa, Tavanga High School.
And when they see that fullback in the I formation, they are selling out straight for the tailback. And we might see some kind of wrinkle off of that later in the game. Pavihi helps him up because of the brotherhood of the Paniolo Trophy.
A little...
They respect the Cowboys in Hawaii.
Who gets that trophy? A kind gesture. This time, Valaday, there's the spinning inside the 5, getting some of that yardage back, and now it's 3rd and goal. And again, Darius Musau, but everywhere, eventually slowed him down, and there's the trophy. You know, they lost it for a while. It means cowboy in Hawaii. And I learned that as they vie for this. Again, the last 4 meetings they've split. They didn't play last year. They weren't supposed to play this year, but then the schedule re-scrambled because of COVID, the 8-game all-conference, and they put them on the schedule, and here we are on 3rd and goal. Ball's out! A fumble and recovered by Wyoming. But it'll be 4th and goal. It's like Latrell Bible, the backup tackle, got out that loose football. Cortez Davis on a blitz here.
They brought the corner and
knocked it loose.
Levi Williams did not see it, and Bible needed to fan out and make that block, but he does the next best thing, which is recover the fumble. Todd Graham got tired of seeing his team run over.
This field goal is off the mark. It was John Hyland, who we talked so highly of, had one field goal made a little bit earlier. And this one in the neighborhood of 30 yards. Should have been a chip shot for what he was able to do last week. A long drive, nets nothing for Wyoming, but they lead it 10-0.
Time to make your disappointing breakfast your X-Fist, because Wendy's has your new breakfast love. With a fresh cracked egg on every sandwich and crispy oven-baked bacon, you'll be telling everybody about the new breakfast you're seeing at Wendy's. Hurry in for the breakfast of your dreams today.
35-yard missed field goal, and we saw what I think is war dog defense when Hawaii needed it the most.
Oh, they got tired of being pushed back. First, they're able to stop Valaday from getting into the end zone. Then they start to really sell out with Pavihi making the play.
And on the return, that's Calvin Turner up near the 37-yard line. All right, runs it out after that missed field goal. And we just want to see this blitz.
Well, 2 stops on the run, and Todd Graham knows Wyoming's going to be in position to throw. He dials up the corner blitz with Cortez Davis and pulls it off, and the red shoe was not able to come through.
Yes, the ruby slippers were missing. That was a 17-play drive over 8 minutes, but no points. Calvin Turner on the direct snap.
They run a little wildcat action with Turner, who does have quarterback experience. You were talking about it earlier. And they try to run a little bit of a speed option with him.
Yeah, it's funny. He said when he played quarterback, you worried a little bit about sliding, getting out of bounds, but at this position here,
he's playing quarterback now. I mean, he's in the shotgun.
He's just going to move upfield. Well, here he hands off, running into his own man, bouncing outside and going out of bounds. A Stovall from that receiver position.
Now Turner is playing quarterback. Maybe Chevon Cordero just not in the rhythm that they felt as if he should be. Here's Cordero back in.
You know, his first career start came against Wyoming in 2018, and it was a win over the Cowboys. Cordero set to throw, airing it out, showing some arm strength, and completed inside the 5-yard line. Zion Bowens.
Well, they caught him sleeping there. Hawaii has not stretched the field almost at all in this game. A little play action after establishing the run. Miles Reed does a good job protecting his quarterback, and Cordero puts everything he has into that as Bowens got behind the defense, caught C.J. Colden slipping a little bit, and now Hawaii's in business after being dominated for the entire first half. They could make a real splash here.
46-yard pickup. Turner set to take the snap. 2 scores last week. Calvin Turner. He won't get one here. Stopped inside the 5. And Gandy coming up to make the play defensively.
Yeah, that's a tough situation for Turner because you see the hole and you want to get into that hole. You also want to be a little patient, but if you're too patient, the backside can catch up to you. And that was a great job by Gandy running him down.
Petros, looks like Cole Goodbow is the injured player on the Wyoming defense.
Yeah, it looks like he hurt a lower leg there in the scrum. Goodbow is a guy that he plays the nose tackle position, is what they call it here. 6'4", pretty tall for a nose, and only 275 out of Wisconsin. They have developed a lot of depth. We were talking to Coach Bowl about that on that defensive front and throughout the team.
We saw Holt suffer an injury earlier. Bertagnol made a big defensive play. Jalen Pate up front with Victor Jones. Let's see him being tended to. Wyoming playing in front of 6,000 plus here.
Great atmosphere, too. It's different when you hear the crowd. You know, we're kind of used to some empty stadiums these days.
And they're all standing concerned, but hopefully he'll be okay.
Well, here's what happened. Here he is right there on the nose, and we'll follow him from there. Kind of getting pushed back and tries to come off at the last second, and looks like he got rolled up at the end there as he is coming off on his own power.
We will see if Hawaii tries to attack the interior part of the Wyoming defense here on 2nd and goal. Todd Graham with 1:48 to go before the half. This is the best scoring opportunity by far, set up by the big pass play.
Great red zone defense from Wyoming. But remember, this is a different look Hawaii team, too. Hawaii perennially a run and shoot team or air raid, and that gets harder and harder closer to the goal line. I just remember how great Colt Brennan, the great Hawaii quarterback, was under June Jones at being creative and finding different arm slots and stuff to deliver the ball, because it is really hard as the field gets smaller. It's easier for the defense to defend. But this is a different looking Rainbow Warriors offense. They want to get a push. They want to run that quarterback or one of their very skilled ball carriers.
See if Calvin Turner takes the direct snap.
Alert pop pass, Chris.
And looks like we have a timeout. Hawaii, they will have one remaining. Wyoming has one timeout remaining, as you can see. Tomorrow, start Saturday strong. Big noon Saturday's game of the week. Jim Harbaugh and the 13th ranked Wolverines face off with the Spartans, one of the wildest Big Ten rivalries. Starts with big noon kickoff. That's at 10 Eastern. And then Michigan State, Michigan at noon Eastern. That's tomorrow on Fox and always on the Fox Sports app.
Exciting Big Ten action. Michigan with a big win last week over Minnesota. A lot of people thought PJ Fleck's team was the real deal this year, and Harbaugh brought them back down to earth with their physicality.
You know, for all the difficulties, fans are just happy to have college football. Even both coaches here said we'll deal with all the adjustments, the protocols, player safety, but being able to play, there was a chance that, hey, we weren't sure what we were going to get in the Mountain West Conference. Hawaii trying to go 2-0. And Turner on 2nd and goal remains at the quarterback spot. He hands it off to Hunter, and Day Hunter into the end zone for a Hawaii touchdown.
And they really like this guy, especially around the goal line. A young guy out of Chandler High School in Denver, Day Hunter, wearing the number 0. And they just bring him on the end around. He is a running back, but he comes from a receiver position. And he does a good job just kind of dipping in and getting the perimeter and then finishing the run physically against Azizi Hearn and following into the end zone. Huge play for Hawaii to get right back in the game.
And the extra point somehow gets through. Awkward looking. But what a run. Turner to Day Hunter after the Cordero pass completion set him up. And all of a sudden, things tighten up here in Wyoming. Hawaii on the touchdown run from the freshman Day Hunter. That drive covered 80 yards. And again, Chevin Cordero found his passing touch after they ran the ball well. And on the return, Wyoming will have an opportunity with Rico Bussey. Excellent special teams play and a flag down.
Hawaii getting a little momentum going here in the second quarter. He picked it up and he threw it down again.
4 penalties accepted on Hawaii.
During the return, illegal blocking the black. Wyoming, number 15. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
And that's 4 accepted penalties on Wyoming.
Well, let's check out. Here's Day right here, and he's going to come across, and you're going to see him dip here and then take it all the way out. They have 3 tailbacks in the game. One of them is playing quarterback. There's the handoff, the dip there, and that sets him up because of his ability, speed-wise and physicality. They think they have a really special player in Day Hunter. The running back coach, Bo Graham, Todd Graham's son, can't stop talking about it.
With a first down across the 20 after that penalty on the kick return. That was against Wyoming. Valladay nearing the 100-yard mark.
Check out the hurdle here, Chris, as Valladay stops and gets right back going forward. He has a lot in his repertoire. I don't know what button that is.
He took a tough hit, eventually delivered it, and Valladay again run down. He runs for 6 feet. I know he kind of got that upright. Going back reminds me of a Jarvis Redwine. You want to throw a college name out there, but look at that hurdle you spotted.
Yeah, he really runs tall, but he does have a plan. You know, a lot of backs when they're reaching the second or third level of a defense, you're just really excited to be there. This guy has a plan. He's going to spin, he's going to hurdle, he's going to break a tackle or make a cut. He is a very confident player, and Wyoming needs him.
He hit the 100-yard rushing mark on 18 carries. Valladay also with a couple of catches for over 30 yards, including a touchdown run. It's a 10-7 Wyoming lead at the half. Mountain West Conference football on FS1 of the State Farm halftime show is coming your way in a moment.
Incomparable design makes it beautiful. State-of-the-art technology makes it brilliant. The Lexus NX with pedestrian detection, lane departure alert, and Amazon Alexa compatibility standard. Experience the crossover in its most visionary form.
Lease the 2021 NX300 for $359 a month for 36 months.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
FS1 College Football is sponsored by Rocket Mortgage with Petros Papadakis, Chris Myers of War Memorial Stadium in Laramie, Wyoming. Get ready for the third quarter. And that first half, Wyoming had an opportunity to blow out Hawaii, but the Rainbows came back.
Yeah, they sure did. And Valladay really set the tone early for Wyoming and made it look like they were going to run right over Hawaii. Started really getting that forward lean behind that big offensive line, forcing the issue, showing us spin moves, showing us the hurdle, but it really was not enough. Wyoming did not capitalize on their opportunities, and deep in the second quarter with Wyoming threatening, Todd Graham dials up a corner blitz. Cortez Davis forces the fumble, and what happens? Momentum changes. Chevin Cordero with the beautiful deep pass to Zion Bowens, and they cap it off, which they needed to, on the road with a touchdown. Day Hunter, and that is where we stand right now.
Only one turnover, a lost fumble in the first half. Look at the time of possession. This is what we mean how Wyoming did dominate. They did have a missed field goal where the margin of victory would be, or margin, I should say, of the lead would be more than just 3.
And I know what Todd Graham's thinking, along with, hey, I got to strap up the bottom of this mask, which is, hey, we could be in a lot worse situation right now. There has been a lot that has come against Hawaii. The altitude, the cold, they came out flat, and they're still in a great position in this game.
Melquist Stovall on the return. And a good return out up across the 30. A little extra shove out of bounds and a flag.
It looked like some face mask pushing from both guys. I'm not sure where the flag came from.
Each team has been penalized 4 times.
During the return, holding, offense, number 1, 10-yard penalty, first down Hawaii.
That will move the Rainbow Warriors back just a bit.
And, you know, both of these teams want to play field position. And when you want to play field position and set things up for your defense, the penalties make it much more difficult. You even have to play more mistake-free football because you don't really have the ability to make it all up with one big play, although we've seen one from Hawaii today. These penalties for them and Wyoming, frankly, have really hurt both teams.
Both Reed and Turner are in the backfield. Cordero completes. Jared Smart with his second catch of the game.
7 catches last week for Jared Smart. And they saw something with Cordero that gave them some confidence throwing the ball down the field here in the second half.
Miles Reed gets the football. Big hole for Reed. Picks up 9.
And this is where they start really using tempo if you're Hawaii, when they start getting forward plays. A nice zone play, offensive line. Gene Pryor pushes the lineman down. A nice read by Reed, and he gets upfield.
Only 6 carries for Reed. They'd like him to get the football a lot more. He gets it here, gets the first down. Reed racing inside the 30 of Wyoming. Chad Muma, who had the fumble recovery in the first half, brought him down eventually.
Reed just doing a great job being creative in the zone and finding vertical run lanes, and that was a gaping hole and a lane right up the hash mark, it seemed, for the Wyoming defense. Muma doesn't clean that up. That's a touchdown.
35-yard run, go back. No, they fake to Reed. Throw the other way. Inside the 30 is Jared Smart. Want to go back to Miles Reed, though, known as Bam Bam. And he came in. If you go last year, in 2019, averaged over 5 yards a carry, ran for over 900 yards, which was good enough for 6th in the Mountain West, and the go-to back for Chevin Cordero.
And Cordero just got it to that man, Smart, on a RPO, trying to kind of stretch the field sideline to sideline. That is to create more vertical run lanes inside for Miles Reed. That's a staple of what Todd Graham likes to do offensively.
Day Hunter is in at running back. Fake to him. Cordero slips a tackle, gets out of a sack, and is on the run. Does a lot to save a lot. Victor Jones eventually ran him out of bounds.
Victor Jones is the guy that originally made that play on Cordero. You see right there, and just gets shaken off. Then Cordero is running for his life. But Victor Jones is going to look at that and say, I should have had a sack, and created a much more unmanageable third down situation. 3rd and 7. We'll see what Hawaii dials up with this newfound downfield confidence.
The secondary is the area that Wyoming said they needed to improve upon. Cordero batted away and incomplete.
Well, that was a well-designed play. What they wanted to do was get the ball to Day Hunter out in space in the flat, and it was set up pretty well for Hunter to be able to catch that ball and turn. But the defensive line, if you can't get to him, get your hands up, and they do just that. I think that was Holt that got a piece of that one.
So on 4th down and 7, field goal try of 44 yards. Matthew Shipley, this would equal his career long, and that's way off the mark. So each team now has missed a field goal. That was 40 plus. Wyoming missed from 35 yards. It's still a 10-7 game, Cowboys. 10-7 with just over 12 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Darius Lewisau, who had 11 tackles last week, has 9 tackles. And Blessman Ta'ala, who at that nose tackle position was questionable with an injury in the first half, is back out there tonight. Valladay hit hard. And that should put him over 100 yards officially. He lost yards, so that is now his 9th career 100-yard game.
That Hawaii defense getting tired of tackling Valladay. There's no doubt about that, and he'll keep coming throughout the game. Yet another fine performance in a game that's barely halfway over.
Levi Williams wide open and out of bounds eventually up near the 45-yard line. That's a 1st down, Cowboys.
Gets that ball to Eberhard, and just a straight drop back setup with max protection, and they just wanted Levi Williams to be able to throw the ball comfortably from that rocking chair and complete it to try to get that rhythm going. Eberhard's a senior
from Loveland, Colorado. Pickup of 16 yards from the 45-yard line. Valladay straight ahead. Petros talked about that offensive line, and they've created opportunities. And when Valladay has them, he's taken advantage. Even Trey Smith when he's gotten a chance.
And they want to go forward. Most offensive lines, unless they're built in a different kind of way, they want to run the ball, go forward. They want to take football out of the guys that are across from them. So in the 4th quarter, it's a little easier. And Coach Bull loves to set that up more than any other coach, or as much as any other coach in the country. They really like to let those big dogs eat.
Cowboys lost on the road to open the season, but they're going for their 9th straight home win. In trouble, he gets out of it, and Williams deflected as he tried to complete to Isaiah Nair. And the coverage good. Those corners, when they've had the opportunity, it was Cameron Lockridge.
Yeah, good job by Lockridge getting involved and popping that ball up. I tell you, I was really impressed with Levi Williams. They're getting good pressure on him when he drops back. And man, can he escape just to deliver this ball down the field. But a nice play at the last second by Cameron Lockridge out of Tampa, Florida, the sophomore, cutting underneath that pass and making a play on it, forcing a third down.
Eugene Ford was injured the first half and has not returned with that lower leg injury in that Hawaii secondary. Levi Williams well protected, threw a little behind and incomplete. Drayton Welch, who's supposed to have one of the better sets of hands on the team, couldn't hold that one.
And they really like him as an athletic tight end. They like him around the end zone at third down situations right there. But like you said, that ball was behind him. He did have both hands on it, but did get turned all the way around. And once again, Hawaii holds. They're gaining a lot of momentum here.
Back to receive is Stovall. Nick Null standing at the 37, 38-yard line. Stovall from the 10 runs back a little, gets upfield. Stovall all the way up across the 35-yard line. A nifty return from Melquist Stovall. 40-yard punt, 25-yard return. Hawaii down 3, but with the football.
When the creepies are crawling and the spirits start calling, Specs is a haven for all that you're craving. Wine, spirits, and beers to raise in good cheers. It's the largest selection of spooky perfection with prices so low they practically glow. Just tap on the app to shop from your lap, and Specs will deliver. This rabbit's a giver. For Halloween fun and grins ear to ear, knock knock, it's Specs. The fun starts here.
That punt return officially 27 yards. Chevin Cordero with an opportunity now. He's run it 4 times, thrown it well after a slow start in St. Louis High School. It's a factory back there in Hawaii for quarterbacks. Started 1 year there, led the Crusaders to open division state title. Dancing through up near the 42-yard line is Cordero. He won the Hawaii Gatorade Player of the Year honors. Of course, that high school famous factory for quarterbacks. Tua getting his first NFL start for the Dolphins this Sunday as they take on the Rams. And Marcus Mariota, Timmy Chang, who's now coaching.
He used to break records all the time. Timmy Chang, Jeremiah Masoli, a tough quarterback at Oregon.
Showing arm strength again. And for a moment, even though he was out of bounds, Rico Bussey looked like he was going to haul that in.
Bussey, the North Texas transfer, 8 receptions in the first game, and that one was right in the hands and looked like would have been in bounds, but Azizi Hearn doing a great job of raking at that ball with the right hand at the last second, timing that up, and now it's a 3rd and 5 situation.
Hearn, the top cover player, cover corner for Wyoming. On a 3rd and 5. Receiver, was he knocked out or did he fall down?
Both.
Miles Reed, but there's no flag.
It was Charles Hicks, the linebacker, the weak side linebacker, that picked up Reed on the wheel route, and he either fell or Hicks got away with one, but he fell and kind of got up, and then Hicks knocked him over again. It's right at the top of your screen. You're going to see the wheel route, and a good job by Hicks to recognize that's his guy, and it's one-on-one, and it looks like he just kind of lost his feet and fell.
Oh, but he tried to get up.
And he pushed him down again.
And so it is 4th and 5.
Must have been uncatchable.
Back for the punt. The 20-yard line. Dante Crow gets up across the 25-yard line. This has really turned into, I thought Petros we'd see a few more points. It's turned into a defensive struggle, a couple of missed field goals. Wyoming has the football and the 3-point lead.
I'm in the business and Oklahoma State faces Texas. Then it's Oklahoma, Texas Tech. It's a Big 12 doubleheader starting Saturday at 4 Eastern on Fox.
Fox Bet Super 6 giving you another chance to win $1 million of Terry's money. Last Sunday, 3 players were close, but not enough. So the $1 million prize still up for grabs Sunday. Download the app, play for free, and make sure your picks are in for Sunday's games. And Kai Kaneshiro, who was penalized for targeting last week, couldn't play in the first half, but been active in the second half as Trey Smith carries. And this offense, a little bit different. You know, the Wyoming coaching staff said, hey, in 2016, we had Josh Allen. It's a big play team, and now we're developing players. It's starting up front with the offense. Jacob Hollister's with the Seahawks now, also part of that. And not that Levi Williams, again, pressed in because of the Sean Chambers injury last week, has held up his end of the bargain, but just haven't had enough of those big plays. Facing a 2nd and 7 here. Shuffling on the part of the Hawaii defense. Levi Williams has all day to throw. And incomplete. Josh Allen, who's now a star for the division-leading Buffalo Bills, and has developed that first-round pick in Buffalo each year. He's gotten better. Look what he did at Wyoming, which is what got him drafted high and has him one of the top players in the NFL at the moment.
Highest drafted player in the history of the University of Wyoming. You think about Jim Kick, you know, you think about Jay Novacek.
Going way back.
Some really great Wyoming players of yesteryear, but Allen is the bell cow, and all their quarterbacks look kind of like that. But you're right, Chris. They're developing Levi as we're speaking, and they see themselves generally as a developmental program.
On a 3rd down, pressure coming. Williams floats one and catches made. It's going to be a 1st down.
Great job seeing the pressure, and he was just beat. Muasau was really, really bearing down on him, and he's able.
Dante Crow hold that in.
Yeah, the punt returner, Dante Crow. They like to get him involved in the offense a little bit, but man, what touch from Williams.
25-yard pickup. It's Valladay, who has 137 yards of more than 200 total yards of Wyoming. So he's got more than half of the total yards of the Cowboys offense.
And when you watch, you know, as a back, you got to do a lot of different things. You see Valladay coming all the way across the formation and making that block, which is not easy to do, to cross your quarterback's face and getting a head right into the chin of Jeremiah Pritchard.
Valladay works his way through the crowd to the 31-yard line of Hawaii. Boy, you talk about vision and waiting for things to develop. He does see daylight and seeks it and then gets through it.
He does a really good job of just really subtle moves, ducking that head, ducking that ball. I did not like seeing the way he moved the ball with his arm. The old high school jump cut style. We got to keep an eye on that.
Trey Smith gets the carry and fights for a 1st down. So the Valladay run, he's over 120 yards rushing, and now Smith carries for the 7th time today. The ground game churning for Wyoming. Steady, patient, and Levi Williams, when he's needed to, has hit on the big pass play. He's got over 110 yards passing. Smith remains the running back. Just inside the 20-yard line of Hawaii. Handles the high snap. And Smith down to the 15-yard line.
They're doing a better job of mixing Smith in along with Valladay as the running back, which was a plan for Coach Bull coming into this game, because you just can't overuse your back in a game or in a season.
Wyoming has now run for almost 170 yards in this game. Valladay, most of that. And he carries again. Down around the 12-yard line, where it'll bring up third down. Under 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. Hawaii had opportunities. We felt a momentum shift when they were down 10-0. Reached the end zone, then missed a field goal, and then missed an opportunity to move in. And now Wyoming has a chance to add to its lead. 50% on third downs tonight. 5 out of 10 so far. They only need 2. Valladay gets the first down. It's first and goal, Cowboys.
You know what I love about him, Chris, is that he's aware of the situation. You know, he knew exactly what was needed to get the first down. He didn't wait at the line of scrimmage. He went flying into that hole and took flight to get the first down. It's not easy to leave your feet because you lose a lot of momentum as a back, but he's able to get down under the tackle and create a very favorable situation as Wyoming is punching back hard here in the third quarter.
He's taking a breather. Trey Smith to the 1. I want to go back to Valladay because he had 30 touches in the opener but did not score. And right now he's back at 30 touches. He does have that touchdown run on the opening drive. He's run for 130 yards tonight.
And you see him encouraging the offense from the sideline while he's breathing hard. Really like this kid, and we'll see if Trey Smith can finish the drive. Remember, this was a situation with the corner blitz and the turnover that shifted momentum in the first half.
Smith for the end zone. Touchdown, Cowboys. And the crowd here in Laramie and War Memorial are happy with that. With an extra point, it'll be a 10-point Wyoming lead.
And these guys 25 pounds heavier than Xavier Valladay, and he does a good job of just getting over the ball, leaning forward, and letting that offensive line do the work.
They've averaged 5 yards a carry as a team on the ground tonight against the Rainbow Warrior defense. And John Hoyland, 1 for 2 in the field goal department. Trying to nail his second extra point, and right down the middle. It's a 10-point Cowboys lead. Trey Smith finishes off a drive that Valladay carried him through. Playing with a lot of emotion tonight in front of the home folks. Valladay, a touchdown run, and then Trey Smith a moment ago. Valladay opened this game, finishing a long drive with an 18-yard score, and this one of 75 yards, nearly 5 minutes before Trey Smith found the end zone.
Kind of an order-restoring drive at home for the Cowboys.
Touchback. Of Halloween for you, Petros Gridiron Ghouls. Michael Myers, no relation, by the way, but I was a big fan of Dr. Loomis.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Hal Mummy is perfect. How about Boo Williams?
Loomis stayed after him. Yeah, Hal Mummy's son is coaching right now at Reno as their, Nevada as their OC. And Jimmy Friday's from my era, the old, or the number 13, very intimidating in Notre Dame.
Freaky Friday here on FS1. You're watching Mountain West Conference football.
You know that Michael Myers mask was actually a William Shatner mask. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. William Shatner may still have that on. I care. But we hope you have a nice Halloween. Be safe as best you can make it in 2020. And these teams in the Mountain West giving it their best shot. And we'll see how Hawaii responds. This is a different picture than what we saw from both of these teams in their openers. Of course, the Cowboys are a different team at home. Talked about their winning streak. They were perfect at home last year. Cordero throwing and completing. Still ball. And you get the sense that they're going to have to pick up the pace a little.
A little bit. I thought Hawaii came out with a very purposeful mindset in the second half. They gained some yardage. They did a really good job of kind of keeping that momentum going from the first half, but unable to convert. They missed a field goal And Wyoming kind of took the power back with their offensive line. And here's a big third down to stay on the field.
They need 5. Cordero throwing for it. Has it. It's back to Stovall, who moves upfield, and here comes some flags.
They might have called offensive pass interference here on the pick play. It looked like a pretty violent pick play to get Stovall free. And if that's the case, it was a pretty late flag that came out. It could be something else.
Pass interference. Offense, number 15. 15-yard penalty. Makes third down.
You were on it, Petros. Good spot. You and the officiating crew will see specifically who it was on the pick play.
I think it's right here where you see the pick play coming. Right there, yeah.
Boy, that negates a...
Yeah, that's just, you can't get that much into the chest of the defender. You have to make it a little bit more seamless.
And now on 3rd and 20, that negated a first down gain. And a sack at the 10-yard line. Scrambling to survive was Cordero. And the Cowboys corral him. He had nowhere to go. I think Victor Jones eventually... It's one of the Cowboys who got to him. There's three of them that converge at the quarterback.
Yeah, he really got exploded there. Victor's the one that wanted to take a bow, though.
He'll take credit.
Cordero really running back right into the teeth of that defense. Needed to keep coming on the outside.
Out of his own end zone, putting the ball and bouncing right around midfield down there by the Rainbow Warriors. And Donovan Dalton making the play. Is nearly blocked. Stack just got it out of there. Tomorrow on Fox, a pair of Big 12 matchups. Sam Ellinger leads Texas against Oklahoma State. You'll see that at 4 Eastern, followed by Oklahoma squaring off against Texas Tech. It all kicks off tomorrow on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Valladay in behind Levi Williams. He gets the football, and even when he's tackled right away, he picks up a couple yards. Tuitopo got to him right away.
That's a good job by Tuitopo on a violent tackle, a high tackle on Valladay to get him down. What Wyoming wants to do now with 2 plus in the 3rd is really just start leaning and bleeding the clock. This Hawaii defense is tired. The offense with a penalty right off the field, and they are right back on the field. Wyoming smells blood in the water right now.
Valladay, a chunk of yardage. They'll need 3 for the first down. Laulu making the stop. Darius Muasau is the leading tackler in the game with 10. Also, Sterling Ortiz has 7 for Hawaii.
And we've seen Todd Graham's guys, Chris, in this game kind of up against the ropes on a few occasions, and they've bounced back. The corner blitz that Graham dialed up in the first half kind of changed the momentum of the game. We'll see if he has another one of those up his sleeve here.
You saw the number of plays. Hawaii's defense has been out on the field quite a bit, and there will be more as Levi Williams at 6'5" glides through the Rainbow Warrior defense for a first down.
Now, we've been talking about Valladay throughout the game. Watch him lead block here as an extra guy for his quarterback, a tailback, taking a little bit out of those defenders and blocking like a fullback for his quarterback. That's an unselfish backfield, and I love to watch Levi Williams run the ball. That is a big guy, 240 pounds coming right down at you if you're a defender.
He's run it 6 times tonight. Back to Valladay. Bounces off like his own offensive lineman and then knocked back a little bit. But the rush yards, 200 rush yards for Wyoming tonight, just over 200 and averaging just under 5 yards a carry.
And in 2019, that's who they were. They averaged about 214 yards per game running the ball. That's what this team is. That's their identity under Coach Bold. And really is playing itself out pretty well here at War Memorial Stadium for them.
Trey Smith has checked in. They've gone to a bowl game the last 4 years, the Cowboys. Smith, who had the touchdown a moment ago, has a first down now. And the clock continues to run here in the third quarter.
You're an NFL guy, Chris. That's a Zeke Elliott thing, right?
Yeah, keep feeding.
Yes, I guess.
The Cowboys have not been eating well lately.
No, Trey's been eating okay.
Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys, but the Wyoming Cowboys are healthy tonight with a 10-point lead at the end of 3 quarters. You're watching Mountain West Conference football. And if Hawaii is going to rally, they're going to have to first stop the rushing attack of the Wyoming Cowboys. FS1 College Football is sponsored by Rocket Mortgage. We're in the fourth quarter at the fans in Laramie, Wyoming are having a good time. You can't tell the temps are in the 30s. They can have up to about 6,000 to 7,000 there. Valaday, but the ball's out. This could be the break for Hawaii if they're on it, and they are. Officials rule recovery for Hawaii. Quentin Frazier comes out of there with it.
Quentin Frazier, San Diego transfer out of Azusa Pacific, the home of Christian Okoye. And let's see what happens. Another opportunistic moment for the Hawaii defense where it really looked like they were on the ropes.
Inside the 20 in the red zone. Valaday, who has been money all night,
and
carrying the load.
That's Cortez Davis, the second forced fumble from him.
Coming from his corner spot.
Cortez Davis has saved the game for Hawaii twice and given them an opportunity to find their way back into this game and get that defense a much-needed rest on the sideline. And sometimes when you have a back that's always fighting for extra yards, that ball will end up on the ground.
Cordero from the pocket, showing that arm strength, throwing deep. And overthrows inside the 40, Stovall. Make that Rico Bussey. Sorry, he was the intended receiver.
And there's Todd Graham pleading with that defense to stay focused, to stay in it, because even if it looks like they're getting pushed back, little tiny things can create opportunities, and we've seen that twice here from the Rainbow Warriors.
Pass is caught. That is Stovall. Picks up a few extra yards across the 16-yard line. Chad Muma eventually made the stop. It's going to be third down. And looks like a flag. A flag comes in. Looked like it was after the play was over.
Yeah, a lot of pushing and shoving after Stovall was tackled. Victor Jones is involved. A couple guys hit the turf, and that's when the flag came out.
Six penalties have been accepted on Hawaii, 4 on Wyoming.
See who this is on, because this could really set Hawaii back. They had a manageable third down after the catch by Stovall.
It was going to be 3rd and 4.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary run, defense, number 9, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
The call against.
It's right on the 25-yard line, right here.
Wyoming. Is that Keyshawn Taylor, the defensive back?
Yeah, and then they get up pushing. And that kind of stuff just, not necessary.
And we saw Gandy get into it afterwards. So fresh set it down. Cordero throws high and incomplete. Cordero 8 out of 20, 92 yards.
You know, when they do decide to throw the ball, Chris, they have to be more efficient in those situations, especially on first down, because now on second down you expect them to run the ball, and then you have another rough third down situation possible.
And Cordero threw for over 200 yards last week, and here he's going to be sacked at the 21-yard line. The pressure coming from the Cowboys and Charles Hicks.
And they did bring a bit blitz from the weak side, that weak side linebacker, Charles Hicks, who we've seen in a little bit of coverage, comes right through the A-gap, the center guard, and finishes the play. Charles Hicks from Lincoln High School in San Diego, California, the home of Marcus Allen and Terrell Davis.
Couple of great running backs, Hall of Famers. Cordero with a lot of time, but the pressure on. Now he's on the move, throwing, and incomplete. No flags. He was trying to get to Bowens. And Hearn Azizi, excellent on the coverage once again.
Yeah, Azizi was all over him there. It looked like he might have been there a little bit early, and it kind of looked like he was waiting around to see if there was going to be a flag thrown. But both these corners between Azizi, Hearn, and C.J. Colden, very long, pretty active on the edge when Hawaii tries to test him.
The punt is away. It will roll out of bounds inside the 25-yard line. It's all about defense for the Cowboys.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Tuesday, America is voting, and Fox News is following every race as it happens. The 2020 election on Fox News Channel.
Craig Bowles, 62-year-old head coach of the Cowboys. On his defense, got to be happy with what they've done tonight. By the way, a 53-yard punt from Adam Stack. And Wyoming protecting that 10-point lead back on offense. Trey Smith carries. 13.5 remaining here in the fourth quarter.
Well, Hawaii was able to get Wyoming off the field. Wyoming looked like in the last drive they were trying to push that Hawaii defense, which has been pretty tired, off the edge of the Rockies, so to speak. And it didn't happen. They forced a turnover, but now they're in the same situation again.
It's only a two-score game, but Hawaii needs big plays from its defense. Smith, and they got a good stop there. Valladay, who had that fumble before, 28 carries. His career high is 37. It was against Boise State last year. He's carried more than 30 times, 2 other times.
And he's just come back into the game, which is interesting. Usually if you have a bell cow back like that and they do fumble and they put it on the ground, you want to get that guy the feel of the ball right away on the very next play. But they gave the first 2 carries to Trey Smith.
Important third down, especially for the Hawaii defense, if they hope to get the ball back. Time incomplete. Pass by Williams was for Nate Weinman. And it's fourth down.
That's a third time they tried to target Weinman, and that was in front of the sticks, too. Even if he had caught that ball, it didn't look like he was going to get the first down. I think Levi really missed his opportunity to get Valladay out of the backfield, kind of trickling out, and he had the time. But a great stop by the Rainbow Warriors.
And Hawaii should, Petros, have good field position. Nick Null standing inside his own 50. Melqui Stovall will let it drop. It's a poor punt that kicks back. And Halloween Eve, a full moon. We're supposed to have a blue moon, I'm hearing, on Halloween. Once in a blue moon. I've always heard that expression. Now I get it.
The Vikings take on the Packers. Wow! Then the Saints battle the Bears. It's a huge doubleheader Sunday on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
Millions of kids nationwide are without their normal access to sports and play due to COVID-19. That's why Fox Sports and Good Sports are restoring play for kids and programs that serve them through donations of brand new sports equipment. Text play to the number on your screen to help kids get in the game. On first down, pass to the sideline. Jared Smart held on. Cordero delivers high, but Smart grabs it.
And that's big. Positive yards on first down are big for Hawaii. You see them hustling back up to the line of scrimmage to get the tempo going. That looked like it was going to fly out of bounds, but Smart has those long arms, and he went up and got it. And let's see if Hawaii can get some tempo going. That's where their offense can be successful.
They're at the 48 of Wyoming after that 28-yard punt. Hunter trying to get the first down. So the field position game, their defense did its job, and then a shaky punt, and now the offense is on the spot. They get the sense need to produce some kind of points here, trailing by 2 scores and 11 and a half to go in the fourth.
And you can tell in this game, last week against Fresno was a little bit of a different look, but in this game, Hawaii's had a hard time creating that tempo and staying on the field with confidence offensively. Here in the fourth quarter, we'll see if they can find it.
Both Turner and Hunter in the backfield. Hunter gets the first down as the clock runs. Chad Muma, by the way, the leading tackler for Wyoming with 6 tackles, also had that takeaway on that fumble in the first half. The loudest voice, the leader of that defense.
Absolutely, and he's really built himself up into that emotional leader of this Wyoming defense. I'm impressed. He's 6'3" and really runs down the field and makes up ground quickly.
Cordero gets deflected at the line of scrimmage. It'll be second down 10.
Yeah, it looked like that pocket was developing pretty nicely for Cordero to step up and throw it, but he's kind of got that long sort of heaving motion, Chris, and that sets up the defensive line to be able to come in and make a play.
Cole Goodbow, I believe, is the one.
Yeah, the second guy through was Goodbow, and he hit it.
Got his hand up. Cordero's only 6'1". Hunter carries. And Goodbow is 6'4", so he reached up, extended that arm, and deflected that first down pass. Now it's third down.
And that's 2 that he's had deflected so far. And I think some of it has to do with that kind of long throwing motion. He really has to wind up to get it out.
Hunter comes in on 3rd and 10. Is deflected and intercepted. Charles Hicks all the way inside the 20 of Hawaii. It's another Cowboy takeaway.
And there was a moment there that it looked like that ball might have hit the ground, but I don't think so. I think it just kicked up out of the arms of the receiver. Unfortunate for Cordero.
It was ruled an interception. From that angle, nothing that would change that.
Hicks really active in the second half of the game. The coverage was Azizi Hearn. And that ball kicked up fast, didn't it?
And he alertly was on it, did a lot on the return. "45 yards after he came up with the interception."
And when Hawaii gets in that situation, a 3rd and long situation, you really do enable the defense to pin their ears back and get after the quarterback. They played a little coverage that time, and they were able to run a little bit of a tip drill, and it looks like come up with an interception, though they are reviewing.
Dean Blandino, our rules analyst, watching. And Dean, from what you saw, does the interception stand?
I think right now it stands. I haven't seen any shot that shows the ball hit the ground, and that's going to be the key. It was clearly loose, but if it hit off the receiver's body up into the defender's hands, then we have an interception. This is another look here, but again, I don't see the ball hit the ground. Has to be clear and obvious to overturn. So right now I've got stands at this point.
And oftentimes, Dean, when the ball kicks up like that, usually it's not coming off the ground. It's coming off somebody's limb or their chest. Or
After
their
further
head.
review, ruling of a catch is confirmed. First down, Wyoming.
All right, thank you. Both of you spot on. And Petros, just as you said, they had at least moved the ball on first down, and then in that last series did not. And 3rd and 10, desperate, and
And that's going to
turnover.
be, that's going to be an adjustment for Hawaii football fans because, they expect an offense that's able to get chunk yards whenever they want it. Colt Brennan, Timmy Chang throwing the ball down the field. They've had a lot of success. This is going to be a different look. It's a much more physical, defensive, purposed football team.
Hicks the interception, and they go back to Valladay to validate this offense.
He's validated.
He's valedictorian. I mean, we could do a lot with that last name. The first name Xavier, you can't do. You just call him the X Factor. How about that?
Just keep going. You're on a roll.
And so is he. Over 150 yards and 30 touches for Xavier Valladay.
Been fun to watch.
Yeah, he's really been the force in this game. Already a touchdown run, and this would be a knockout punch if Wyoming could put this into the end zone.
That's what they're trying to do, get that push, and there you see Hicks celebrating on the sideline after a pretty active second half for him. But
now on 3rd and 4 at the 11 here, as you see. Now the run they've been able to run the ball against this Hawaii defense with great success. Averaging 5 yards a carry. Trey Smith comes in now. And he's trying to power his way. He does! First down, Cowboys. Wow.
In the first half, when they were running that play, just a basic isolation play with a fullback right in front, Hawaii was selling out and getting there. That time, they do the same thing. They sell out, but they don't get there. Justice Tavai unable to make the tackle on the feet of Smith, and that just goes to show how tired the Rainbow Warriors defense is getting trying to tackle these backs, and Valladay back in the game.
Yeah, and Smith about 20 or 25 pounds heavier than Valladay, and he showed you on that. As Valladay tries to get to the end zone here, and he does. Second touchdown of this game for Xavier Valladay.
And that is enforcing the will of the Cowboy. There you see, following the fullback, the hole's a little bit wider that time. Valladay takes it to the outside. But one thing I really like about this back is he doesn't make unnecessary cuts. He's always going right upfield, and Hicks loves it because he knows he started it all with that beautiful interception in return.
John Hoyland on to try the extra point.
The red shoe.
1 out of 2 in the field goal department. He's handled all of his extra points tonight. 3 for 3. A 24-7 advantage. Another touchdown from Valladay after the Wyoming defense with a takeaway on the Hicks interception. An impressive drive after the takeaway. 161 rush yards for Xavier Valladay, who scores his 13th career touchdown. That's 4th best for him. He has had, as we mentioned, a couple of 200-yard games.
Yeah, I thought that was a plunging neckline on the Cowboy, but it's not. It's a bandana.
Well, he's ready to mask up if needed.
He is. Maybe go help out Todd Graham.
I'm sure the Rainbow Warrior fans are disappointed in the performance of their offense. I mean, the defense hung in there as long as they could. Even though they were run over, they weren't giving up the scores as much as they were until moments ago. From the Mountain West Conference, Petros, you got some other games you're keeping your eye on. We promoted the Michigan State rivalry.
Well, let's see if Coach Mel's guys can rebound after taking that tough loss to Rutgers, Michigan State. Michigan looked great last week and very physical. They found a quarterback. I love Ellinger, and I love Chuba Hubbard. Just two great offensive players. The Big 12 going at it tomorrow on Fox. And tomorrow night, we're back in the Mountain West for the Fremont Cannon, Chris.
You'll be here calling it. You'll be there. You'll be all over the place.
You'll be all back to the NFL, back to the safety of the shield.
Yes. Breaking loose is Calvin Turner.
I'll be out exposed to the elements on the Mountain West.
Well, we love the Mountain West.
We've had a lot of fun.
It's been an entertaining game. A lot of big plays on defense, really, that turned the tide of the game. And then Valladay taking control of the game. And for both quarterbacks, they've been able to put up the numbers they would have liked. Going to Turner more.
They're still looking to identify some playmakers. You can see they want to get Day Hunter involved. Turner, they like giving him the ball. Miles Reed, but they really haven't been able to get anything consistent going. They have a little momentum here, and still some time left in this game.
Quick strikes, that's what Hawaii needs. Cordero's in trouble, he's going to get sacked. Bertagnol once again. Casper, Wyoming native.
We've seen a lot of activity from a lot of these defensive linemen. Bertagnol's made plays. Goodbow has made plays. Victor Jones has made plays. And if that original read isn't there for Cordero, he wants to tuck it, and there just isn't time. Wyoming is on top of it.
Facing another 3rd and long. Pass caught. Turner well short of the first down.
And that looked a lot like the Cowboys last week against that Nevada air raid, letting the ball be completed short and then rallying the football to make a play. But it looks like they're going to have to make one more to get all the way off the field as the Rainbow Warriors are going for it on 4th down at this point.
Understandable. Down 17. And they may have to use a timeout. Is there confusion here? Timeout. Hawaii facing a 4th down, 6.5 to go in the 4th.
Nothing will prepare you for the most shocking I Can See Your Voice episode yet.
What did I tell you?
All new I Can See Your Voice, Wednesday after The Masked Singer, only on Fox.
Hawaii trailing by 17 on 4th down and 7. Day Hunter, who has the touchdown run for the Rainbow Warriors, is in the backfield for Chevin Cordero. On the run again, sacked again. Cole Goodbow with the sack. That's the 4th sack of the game for Wyoming.
Yeah, they ran a little twist between Victor Jones and you see Goodbow coming in underneath. That was actually Jalen Pate that they ran it with. And Goodbow is the guy that cleans it up. Coach Bowles' defense really dialing up some stuff. Jay Sowell, first-year defensive coordinator, able to dial up some things to frustrate this Hawaii offense down the stretch when Wyoming just knew they needed big plays and they were going to drop Cordero back.
You saw a ball earlier. We showed you him kind of chewing out his defense, or at least getting heated over there. They've done well tonight. He wanted them to keep the heat on, the pressure on, and they did. They have the Smith carries. That's officially 5 sacks in the game for this Cowboy defense.
And they've done a great job throughout the night, really not letting Hawaii ever establish any of their playmakers. You see them there getting after Miles Reed, rallying to the football. And a lot of hats on the ball. Defensive linemen in the backfield. And when Cordero's dropped back and tried to tuck it, he really has had nowhere to go. As they've done a good job of not only bottling him up, but keeping him from getting to the outside, keeping the candy in the house.
And a couple of takeaways, mostly treats for Wyoming. The trick has been on Hawaii. There's just over 5.5 to go here, and both of these teams headed now to what would be a 1-1 record. And for Hawaii, starting out on the road, as you talked about, the first 2 games before they get back home.
Very difficult, very difficult. The circumstances of this year have been very difficult for everybody. And most everybody, of course, is just very happy to be playing college football again. But with a new system and a whole week away from home and in the altitude and the cold against it looks to be a superiorly physical team.
Trey Smith carries this for the Cowboys, starts a streak of 3 out of the 4 games at home. Next Thursday at Colorado State, the border war, that rivalry, and then back home for Air Force and Utah State after they started on the road.
And those will be tough, hard-fought battles. So you're talking to Craig Bohl about how much he enjoys this conference and the coaching in this conference. And if you got to go through Laramie, you better bring your lunch pail. They're going to hit you in the mouth. They're going to make you tackle Valladay, and they're going to run that big quarterback behind him as well.
And Levi Williams has held up well. He was going to see time anyway. As Smith carries before what seemed just like a heartbreaking injury for Sean Chambers, and you certainly hope that he has a healthy recovery when he can with that injury-ravaged career. But Levi Williams has settled in nicely as a redshirt freshman.
There's Chambers, and he's the prototype too. Just like Josh Allen, just like Levi Williams. He's 6'3", 240. Levi 6'5", 240. All of these backs. Valladay's the smallest guy, maybe the most physical, but they're all falling forward along with the offensive line, and that's been the case since the first quarter.
On a 3rd down and 5. Williams keeps, and he'll be short of the first down, but he does stay in bounds. So will they go on 4th to keep control of the football or try a field goal?
Interesting. That's an interesting call. They're getting such a good push, and I know they just want to bleed this clock out and not give Hawaii another opportunity. A nice read by Williams, but even better closing speed that forces the 4th down.
Now they're staying out there.
That's Kai Kaneshiro, who's just been playing in the second half, that came over and made that play.
They need 2 to hold on to the football. And they get it. And who else? Xavier Valladay. On his 31st carry, has also had a couple of catches. And, of course, the 2 touchdown runs.
Yeah, and at the very end of the play, you see Keegan Kreider, the center, body slamming the guy that just made the tackle on the previous play. Kai Kaneshiro, there it is. Get off my running back. This is just a mentality, falling forward, going for it on 4th down. No, we're not going to give you the ball back. We are going to make you watch us score all the way down to the end. And you just see the fire and fury coming out of Coach Bohl. It's just the style of this Wyoming football team. And that's a style that Hawaii wants to run as well.
Time now for the Smokin' Player of the Game, sponsored by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. What's your beef? You got no beef?
I've been having a great time. I got no beef with these offenses. I like the running game, and I like Xavier Valladay. And it's not just him. It's the mindset, the mentality of the whole team that's going to give one player the ball and let him be the straw that stirs the drink for the entire offense. But make no mistake, look at that offensive line, finishing their blocks all the way down the field. Kreider, Harris, Crum, Aboje, Bible, they've all been out there blocking for both backs and the quarterback and really turning in another dominant running performance for the Cowboys.
And when you have the kind of defense the Cowboys are playing, you can be patient with the running game, and as Valladay showed, dominant in the run game. Trey Smith now has come in. Craig Bohl, the head coach, has his son Aaron on the staff coaching linebackers as well. And Trey Smith brought down inside the 5. It'll be another first down for the Cowboys. 1st and goal.
It's a pretty big guy making a pretty graceful cut on the outside. First, he makes a cut to avoid the tackle. Then he makes another cut to stay in bounds with a nose for the end zone. And one thing that they really did accomplish today is they wanted to get Trey Smith some rhythm. They wanted to have somebody else they could trust in the backfield other than Levi Williams and Valladay running the ball. And it looks like the Cowboys have accomplished that.
On a 1st and goal, under 2 minutes to play, Trey Smith, who got him down there the last couple of carries, will carry again and work his way into the end zone. It's another Cowboy touchdown, and the 2nd of the night for Smith. He has 2 and Valladay has 2.
And I doubt that Coach Bowl is smiling under that mask because it just doesn't seem like his nature. But he is happy. He's happy with the way his team came out because they knew that Hawaii was going to come with a physical mentality after beating up on a very physical perennially physical Fresno State program. And they took it as a big fist-fighting type of challenge in this game. And I think you could tell who won the fist fight at this point.
31-7 Wyoming advantage. Well, it was Craig Bowl who said last week after their starting quarterback was injured and they fell behind that the team had kind of for 3 quarters that deer in the headlight look, and then when they forced overtime, even in defeat, some of that seemed to carry forward for Wyoming into this game.
Yeah, they seemed a lot more confident at home and with Levi Williams in the huddle in this game, and it was Hawaii that came out flat in the first quarter and really never was able to recover, especially offensively. You're right, though. Their defense, that War Dog defense, did stay in there and give them some opportunity.
The Paniolo Trophy, which started back in 1979. The Hawaii-Wyoming game played for that. Hawaii held the trophy by virtue of a 17-13 win from the last meeting in 2018, but it'll go to the Cowboys.
It will. And that's you look like cost you a little bit of money if you were at like a shop in Telluride. You wanted to buy that statue. I mean, that's a nice looking statue.
Well, the original was lost, the bronze cowboy on horseback, but neither team was able to locate that original trophy. When the rivalry was reinstated, they found a replacement created based on the photographs of the original Paniolo trophy.
And both states boast very proud cowboy lineages. I mean, people don't realize a lot of cowboys throughout Hawaii on all the islands.
The upper hand. Stovall bringing this out. Stopped after he got across the 20-yard line. Sunday on Fox, great doubleheader. Starts with the main headline game. Vikings taking on Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, and the Drew Brees and the Saints against Nick Foles and the Bears. Or you could see the Seahawks and 49ers. It all starts 1 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app with a doubleheader with America's Game of the Week. I'll be up in Seattle.
Yes, you will.
Calling that game with Mark Schlereth, a 3-time Super Bowl champ from Idaho.
Talk about a guy that knew how to pull around and cut somebody down. Love it.
And still does. Loves the interior play, interior line play, and that's an area where we saw Wyoming and that offensive line clear pass for Valadez and Smith. As Hawaii will run this out. And there's the 2 running backs, 2 touchdowns each.
That's right. They did a very good job, and we expected to see Valadez, but they did really want to get Smith involved to feel like they had another option back there, and they did that. And yes, you're going back to the NFL for the rest of the weekend, Chris, but that doesn't change. You had some great Mountain West action tonight. People were happy to hear that iconic voice on this game.
Well, you can't, but it was fun to watch. I thought we'd see a closer game. The last 4 meetings were highly competitive between these two, but Wyoming, between the defense and rushing for over 280 yards against that Todd Graham-style defense, just kind of unheard of, but they had their way with it.
Tough circumstance for everybody, obviously, this year, but especially for Hawaii. A brand new coach, a brand new mentality completely, with a lot of personnel that's left over from Rolovich's staff. They ran into a buzzsaw here.
Yeah, Hunter Carey had 10 wins last year. They prior to that, they had an 8-win year. They'll have New Mexico, and they'll be happy to be getting back home to Hawaii. New Mexico, then they're at San Diego State, and then home with Boise State as we get a look at the Rainbow Warriors schedule in the Mountain West.
Yeah, San Diego State looks every bit as tough under Brady Hoke as they did under Rocky Long. Boise with Hank Bachmeier looks like the class of the league. Nevada's got a great run and shoot going right now. Air raid, excuse me.
Pass complete. Hunter. The freshman had the only score of the night for Hawaii, and the Cowboys, who ran out on the field at War Memorial, will run off. They want their hands on that trophy. It belongs to Wyoming for now. It's good to see that kind of spirit. 2 coaches as the players celebrate 9th straight home win, and they hope to go to a 5th straight bowl game. But a long way to go. Game 2 of the 8-game all-conference Mountain West schedule.
And Valladay carried the load for the most of the game.
He's carrying the that trophy looks heavy.
It's hollow inside.
Oh, is okay. Is there candy in there for Halloween? He's trying to shake it loose. and those fans, we're happy to see the Wyoming Cowboys on the eve of Halloween. Some people dressing up a little early. For Petros Papadakis, Chris Myers, our entire crew, thanks for being a part of Mountain West Conference football on FS1. Watching it live from Laramie, Wyoming. The Cowboys over the Rainbow Warriors 31-7. Have a good weekend.